Welcome everyone. Cascading the balanced scorecard to drive organization alignment. In this video, we will try to understand the direct relationship between balanced scorecard and organizational goals thereby. So what needs to be aligned, what needs to be rectified, what needs to be monitored vis-a-vis organization goals. And that is why the reasons of cascading the balanced scorecard to drive organizational alignment. Agenda is very simple. We understand the 360-degree nature of performance management, that is the business performance management that we are talking about it. Understanding the closed loop process, linking strategy to the execution. Strategy is nothing but where we are standing as of today and where do we want to see ourselves probably in a week's time, in a month's time, in a year's time, in a decade's time, and so on and so forth. Usually, strategies are formulated for a longer term perspective when compared to an organizational goals. Plan is how do we get there. Now, these are basically execution plans or operational plans. Milestone basically to achieve the overall objective. Monitors how are we doing it is basically strategizing around those things and the parameters thereof. We need to understand the parameters which will indicate us whether the organization is on the right path or not. Act, adjust, definitely yes. If we see ourselves deviating from the desired path, probably we need to act upon it, adjust upon our goals, or probably act upon our practices. And probably we'll discuss about some of the best practices in terms of planning and management reporting. Opening statement, vagueness, is everything we need to understand about a company. Yes, we need to be clear about the vision, the mission, the objectives, goals, absolutely clear. So we need to understand the background of the company, the problem description as to what the company is there in existence from, what are the solutions that the company is extending it to its clients, customers, proposed solution, results, answers, and probably discuss the case studies thereby. BPM or business performance management. Often many authors call it as CPM as a corporate performance management, uh, EPM or enterprise performance management, and SEM as in strategic enterprise management, one and the same. These are just synonyms of business performance management. Now, let us understand business performance management vis-a-vis business intelligence, BI. So it's a development. It's BI is the data formulation which gives us the indicator as where the business is going towards. So BPM is a development of BI. Is business intelligence the foundation thing where the data has been manicured, procured, and probably pruned so that it tells us how the business is faring, and a combination of several technologies, applications, and technique thereof. Some markets, companies sell them. Business intelligence has evolved, so many of the original differences between two no longer exist. Example, BI used to be focused on departmental rather than enterprise-wide project. BI is a crucial element of BPM, simple and straight. BPM is nothing but summation of planning and business intelligence. So you have data points, you have your parameters, you have your understanding and analysis of your parameters, and then probably the execution part is where the planning composed of. It's you've planned the execution and you now need to execute it, and that is what your business performance management is all about. It a closed loop process essentially is to optimize the business performances, right? And if you look into it, this is a closed loop process that comes around here. Now, process is simply which is as a thing as to strategize, plan, monitor, and act. Now, if you look out here, this is how the things runs away. It is absolutely integrated data management that comes around here. Isn't that what we are looking at? It first and foremost thing, which needs to strategize. Absolutely, yes. We are talking about mission, vision, tell everything about the company's background. Then probably go for planning purpose. Now, planning purpose is where you need to understand your budgets, your plans, your resources, your strength, your weaknesses. Monitors is once you have executed, have understood your plans and executed, you will have to monitor the process thereby. And probably if there is any deviations, probably if there are any resources that needs to be supplemented for, you need to act and adjust. And this is what comes around it. And it's a circular fashion. It goes on and on and on. There is nothing to which tells us that this cannot this will be a stop process, because the moment this tends to cease to work upon it, probably the organization cease to exist altogether, and that's what we are looking forward. So where do we want to go? Strategic planning are essentially the common tasks for strategic planning. Conduct a current situation, as in strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat profile. Determine the planning horizon, be it 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years. Conduct an environmental scan, as I've already said so. Identify critical success factor, as in what are the factors that you are good at it, competitive advantage. Simply put forward is competitive advantages. Conduct or complete a gap analysis, as in where are we and what do we want to be. Are we going to be replicating the success of our competitors or the number one leaders out there? Are we going to improve on a productivity basis or cost improvement basis? What are we looking into it? Create that plan, create that strategic vision, develop the strategies, and identify the goals thereof. Now, how do we go get on there is actually the execution of the plan. Operational plan are that translates an organizational strategic objective and goals into a set of well-defined tactics and initiative, resource requirement, expected result for some future time period, usually a year. Operational planning can be tactic centric, as in operational focus, and tactic centric can be anything from a week's time to a day's time, probably to a month's time, at best a quarter's time. Where there others are budget centric, which is has to be incorporated in the budget, as in financially focused. How do we go around it? Is tactic centric and budget centric plan, as the case might there be there. So plan, how do we get there? Financial planning and budgeting. And organizational strategic objectives and key metrics should serve as a top-down drivers for the allocation of the organization tangible and intangible assets. Resource allocation should be carefully aligned with organizational strategic objectives and tactics in order to achieve strategic success. This is of vital importance, as in whether do we have enough resources in terms of finances and monetary consideration are to be procured, and where it is to be procured, how it is to be procured. These are the organizational strategic objectives. Crux is all about it. Once resources have been aligned and things have been executed, now is the time to monitor, keep a tab on things, on how things are proceeding. A comprehensive framework for monitoring performance should address two key issues: what to monitor, a CSF or critical success factors, strategic goals and targets is, and how to monitor, as in what all cases that comes around here. Monitors, how are we doing? Diagnostic control system is what we are looking into it. Look what has been done out here. It is the business strategy that flows from top to bottom as far as the goals are concerned, based on your things. Now, how do we go across it? This is what you need to tell every now and then: the critical performance variations and the goals, where we have those inputs, probably which undergoes a process of grinding to come up with an output, as the case might be. This is what we are looking out here, from inputs to output. This is your diagnostic control system, as in critical success factor. Now, critical success factor may be maintaining your cost, or lowering down your cost, or maintaining your zero defect quality products, or maintaining absolutely on time delivery. What are your critical performance variables that you want to go around it? So based upon it, give relevant information, feedback, and understand the variances, if any. Pitfalls of variance analysis. Once I said variances, what are the variances? Let us understand the demerits out there. The vast majority of exception analysis focuses only and exclusively on negativity. When functional groups or department fail to meet their target, this nobody looks at the cause about it, only the result. Outcome is negative. Rarely a positive variance is reviewed for potential opportunities. Rarely does the analysis focus on the assumption underlying the variance pattern thereby, and that is what acts and adjust. What do we need to do differently? This is very important, as in how do we proceed around here. One thing that needs to be taken into consideration is what needs to be done as to defining the objectives per se, and then comes the execution, as in the marketing campaign, as in the operation campaign, or the production shift schedule. Now is the time to track everything, monitors everything. So basically it again starts from here to this, and then probably it again ventures back in this direction. This is what we should be looking forward to it time and again. Now, what are we looking? We need to define our objectives, we need to execute them, we need to understand, monitor them, analyze them, and then probably have some key takeaways for you to learn and improve your processes in the next quarter, probably next fiscal year. This is a time where you have to sit back and probably decide what do we need to do differently so that it optimizes our performances. The group benchmark result indicate the world class companies. It does it mimic, does it reflect the exact thing? If not, what needs to be done? Are significantly more efficient than the peers at managing costs? Probably you need to answer this question. Focuses on the operational excellences and experiences, significantly reduces rates of employee turnover, as in the attrition part of it. Provide management with the tools and training to leverage corporate information to guide strategic planning, budgeting, forecasting, closely align strategic and tactical plans, enable functional areas to contribute more effectively. This is what we need to understand. Performance measurement is nothing but all about KPIs, key performance indicators, indicators which are um, outcome based or driver based. Outcome based are always lagging because why? The outcome has already been there. You cannot do anything about it. The result is already published. But driver indicators are leading indicators, as in what is happening as of this moment. So what we need to extrapolate those at the end of our time, what might actually happen. So there is something called driver indicators or KPIs, which is leading indicators. Example, sales lead. Lagging indicators would be your revenue that has been generated. Operational areas covered by drivers of KPIs are customer performances, service performances, sales operation, probably sales plan or sales forecast, as the case might be. We are looking at customer performances. We are looking at service performances. So, business performance management methodologies, what are we trying to look into it? First and foremost thing, understand the top level strategic objectives and the bottom level initiative. Are there any mismatch into it? So, what has been said and what has been done? Are there any mismatch? Is everybody from top to bottom, all the person in the organization are on the same page or not? Identify the opportunity and problem in a timely fashion. Determine priorities, allocate resources accordingly, change measurement when the underlying process and strategies change, delineate responsibilities, understand actual performance relative to the responsibilities, and reward and recognize accomplishment. Take actions to improve process procedures when data warranted. Plan and forecast in a much more reliable and, if possible, in a timely fashion. And that is what business performance management is all about. It identifying problems, identifying issues, probably trying to figure out the measurements every time and in every processes, point out the responsibilities, the actual thing which is happening around it, where is the issue, problems arising, and accordingly take some appropriate action. Now, this is where BSC comes in. BSC, as in Balanced Score Method Scorecard, a performance measurement and a management methodology that helps translate an organizational financial, customer, internal process, learning, growth objective, and target into an actionable initiative. And that is what Balance Scorecard will try to figure out and probably intimate the top management as to what is going wrong or if everything is going smoothly or not. It was way published in the Balance Scorecard in Harvard Business Review 1992, measures that drives performances, and this was the actual uh, picture that was being given, the actual chart which was telling it to you. Now, basically, out here there are four parameters of financial, customers, internal process, and learning and growth. And every parameters has only four things that needs to be measured, as in objective, measures, target, and initiative. Initiatives are execution plans, as in what needs to be done. Targets are end objective. Measurements are the key performance indicators that we are looking into it. You talk about finances, what are the objectives, what are the initiative for customers, what were the objectives, what were the initiative. So is for internal business process and learning and growth. The meaning of balance, nothing but BSC is balance scorecard is designed to overcome the limitation of systems that are financially focused. Everything that limits itself to the financial aspect of it, as in, is it profitable or is it cost inducing effort? So that that might deter a company from pursuing a goal. But on the other hand, if it induces, it probably might enhance the goodwill of the company, which will actually translate into a bigger revenue per se. Now, this is what we are looking into it. Non-financial objectives falls into one of either of the three perspectives. Are we talking about customers, internal business, and learning and growth? Learning and growth is internal orientation of the companies altogether. In balance scorecard, the balance arises from a combined set of measures. That is, the indicators are all about finance and non-finance, leading and lagging, internal and external, quantitative and qualitative, short-term and long-term. Again, I'm trying to emphasize on the word called balance in terms of finances and non-finances, goodwill plus money or money, leading or lagging, outcome or driver indicators, internal or external, internal employees or internal customers, employees, or external customers, as in the client. Quantitative versus qualitative. Is it the volume that we are looking into it? Is it the quality that matters most? Is it short term or long term, as the case might be? Business performance management is one of the basic things about aligning strategies and actions thereabout. There are basically six steps, which we have already seen it in the chart in the previous slides. Developing and formulating a strategy or planning a strategy. Number three would be aligning your organizational objective to the strategy. The strategy should be there in force so that it drives the organizational performances. Planning the operation, monitoring, learning, testing, and adapting strategies thereby. So let us talk about the methodology, as in strategy plan is all about it. If you look into it, these are the four things that comes around here. This are the four things that comes around here that needs to be understood, and nothing beyond it would matter at all. So let us understand how do we go around. A visual display that delineates the relationship between key organizational objectives for all the balance scorecard perspective, be it financial as in return on the net, or be it customers, whether you are attracting new customers or retaining the old one as in lowest price. Internal is all about fast turnaround time, good operational efficiency, and people knowledge is about the ground and crew alignment. The Six Sigma, a performance management methodology aimed at reducing number of defects, the quality issue that we are trying to address in a business process to so as to close zero defects per million opportunities, DPMO, zero defects per million opportunity, defects per million opportunities as possible, and the name suggests six per million opportunities. If there are below Six Sigma, it's an ideal case that we go around it, and that is what we are talking about, the DMAC performance model as such. How do we go around here? We need to understand the DMAC model is nothing but a closed loop model. DMAC means nothing. What is DMAC? D stands for define, M for measures, A for analyze, I for improve, and C is all about control. So DMAC method is define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. Model that encompasses the steps of everything that has been mentioned out here. The Lean Six Sigma is all about lean manufacturing and lean production, and lean production versus Six Sigma is what we should be talking about it. That is what needs to be done. So how to succeed? Essentially speaking, how do we go ahead without hampering the growth any longer? Six Sigma is an integrated things with the business strategy because it is quality oriented. It has to be integrated with the business strategy. Six Sigma support business objective automatically. If you have zero defects per million or objectives, then probably per million orders, probably you are always on the right path. That means that there are no cost wastages around it. So it is always in alignment with the business objective. Key executives are engaged in processes. Project selection is based on value potential. There's a critical mass of projects and resources. Project in process are actively managed. Team leaderships are emphasized. Results are rigorously tracked, as in the case is all about it. So balance scorecard method plus Six Sigma will ensure nothing but success, and that is what any company or any person would aspire for it. Balance scorecard plus Six Sigma, the results are wonderful. So, integrating Six Sigma with Balance Scorecard is by translating strategies into quantifiable objectives. Quantifiable is into numbers. If there are numbers, it's not possible. Ton per day is not possible. Customer number of customers service per day is not possible. Can we talk it in terms of time? Itself, time will improve your efficacy of the organization. So, cascading objective through the organizational, setting target based on the voice of the customers, implementing strategic projects using Six Sigma, executing process in a consistent fashion to deliver business results. Business process management architecture, the logical and physical design of system. Business process management system consists of three logical parts. One, that is of application. Second, of all data changes or exchanges, information hubs, and the source system. BPM system consists of three physical parts: database tier, application tier, and client tier. And this is what we are looking at into it as far as business process management architecture is there. We talk of browsers, spreadsheets, and other interfaces, and how do we go around it? We are talking about just the interface. Now, we used to have CUI or character user interface. Now we have translated into or transformed into GUI, graphic user interfaces. Now, if you look into the data flow is out here. This is what the data flow is all about. It right from source data to user data, and how does it manage matter, something which has been done in terms of ERP, CRM, SCM, other legacy systems, other related external data. Now, these are basically filtered and pruned. Data mining has been done probably, and then there is something which comes up with different kinds of issues that needs to be understood time and again. For your DEMAC model as define, measure, analyze, improve, and control as the case might be. So business process architecture and applications, nothing much to be done. In application part, we are talking only of budgeting, planning, forecasting, trying to figure out in advance what needs to be done. Whereas application wise, we have to give those exchange notes in terms of ERP, CRM. No, ERP, CRM, we have budgeted for number of for a volume, right? But ERP says that volume has been expedited and has been generated in the first 2 quarters only, and the rest 2 quarters you need to allocate more resources for that volume number of customers to be services. So that is where the information hub or the exchange or the budget needs to be pruned or needs to be allocated for. So business process management application is all about strategic management, budgeting, planning, forecasting, planning consolidation, profitability, modeling, optimization, financial statutory and management reporting as the case might be. We talk about leading application and suite vendors. There are plentiful of applications in the market. I'm just going to give it to few of them, and almost all of them you have heard about it. It's SAP Business Objective, Enterprise Performance Management. What is that? It's system, application, product, business object. SAP is one of those model which is very prevalent in the market. Place Oracle Hyperion Performance Management, IBM Cognos Business Intelligence and Financial Performance Management, MicroStrategy, and the other software from Microsoft. Many companies have their own dashboards. Now, dashboard they do it for their benefit, for their understanding, and how do they go around it. Dashboard and scorecard both provide visual display and important information that is consolidated, arranged on a single screen so that information can be digested in a single glance and probably easily explored. With this, we come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.